Hey, and welcome back to Mike Reed's Katawa Shoujo today, and maybe this time we'll get to make an actual option and make this a game instead of just a book. That's a good joke. The morning sunlight streaming through my window wakes me up instead of my alarm, and I realize that it must be Sunday. Emmy has kindly Emmy has kindly that word to give me weekends off from our morning runs. Deigned? I want to say deigned. Deigned. I really don't know how to say that word. I don't actually know if I woke up at all yesterday or if I just slept through the entire day. My legs groan in protest as I lever myself out of my bed. All this running is really taking it out of me. Still, I can't deny that Emmy wasn't lying to me. It has gotten a little easier. I've been worried that the runs would start to wear on my nerves, but thus far I haven't minded them that much. Well, it's only been a week. I suppose there's plenty of time for me to start dreading the sound of my alarm in the morning. Not that I could ever skip out now. As Emmy said, it's harder to stop a routine when there's another person. And frankly, I don't think I'm equipped to deal with the disappointed Emmy. She'd probably give me those puppy dog eyes and I'd feel terrible about myself. Which reminds me, wasn't I supposed to be somewhere today? Hey, you're coming to the track meet on Sunday, right? What am I talking about? Of course you are. Right? Those puppy dog eyes again. Of course I'm going. I owe you, right? Exactly, so don't forget, okay? Something tells me he forgot. Crap, I missed track meet. I better get a move on if I don't want to miss her running, since she's the only reason I'm even considering going. Otherwise, it would defeat the whole purpose of going. Thanks for elaborating, you dick. And so, I soon find myself quiet, suddenly surrounded by the crowd of people, all turning out to see our track team compete with another school like this. One. I'll admit it, it's almost comforting to know we're not the only school like this. After you see that there can be two schools with a bunch of defective kids, well, you stop feeling so defective. You also stop feeling unique, which in most cases would be a bad thing, but in this case, it sure as hell isn't. That's part of Yamaku's appeal, I guess. Learn that you're not unique. Hell, learn there's a lot of others who would kill to be saddled with your problem instead of whatever they're dealing with. Some of the kids here aren't here because they're missing a leg or they have a heart condition. Some of them might be here because they're as good as dead in 2, maybe 3 years if they're lucky. And that's only if I get the right sort of care. That's only if they get the right sort of care. It's a bitter sort of comfort to be able to say, well, at least I've got a chance of being alive through college. But there it is. I'm brought out of my rather morbid musings by the appearance of Reen near the entrance of the bleachers. You came. Of course, I said I would, didn't I? That doesn't necessarily imply that you had to follow through. Lots of people say things and don't mean them. Well, I don't. Green shrugs, seemingly bored with our conversation. She turns on her heel and heads back towards the stands. I owe Emmy money now. Why's that? I didn't think you'd show up. Emmy did. So I owe her 500 yen. You two bet an awful lot, don't you? Another shrug from my armless companion. I don't think so. We enter the bleachers and Reen nods upwards. Up there. I came out to see if you'd come. For the bet, I presume. Reen leads the way and soon we've settled down on an almost empty bench. There's an older woman sitting next to Reen, someone's mother I assume. Probably Emmy's. She's got rather long hair, done up in a braid. On seeing Reen, she gives her an oddly familiar seeming grin. Well, this is surprising. I thought you went to get a snack, not a boy. Huh? A snack? I wondered why I was down there. The woman laughs, again in a way that seems familiar. Where have I seen her before? Well, I suppose you've always been one to go out for one thing and bring back another. But I'm being rude. I haven't introduced myself. I'm Mieko Ibarazaki, Emi's mom. Pleased to meet you. Mako. I'm just gonna call you Mako. Mako Tsunami. Well, that explains it. Tumpy Butt Senior. Yes. She's like a taller, older, and better endowed Emmy. Okay, I'm done, I promise. I'm sorry, it'll never happen again until the next time I want to be immature. Apart from her hair being a darker shade than Emmy's, there's really no mistaking the resemblance. Sorry, I'm Hisao Nakai. And really, you don't have to apologize for not introducing yourself, Mrs. Abarazaki. Tumpy Butt Senior. That's really Reen's job in this situation, isn't it? Another laugh from Emmy's mom. I take it you've not known Reen for that long, then. It's best not to expect her to remember something like that. She's got other things to think about, I assume. Reen nods, seemingly pleased by this assessment. She's right. I was thinking about sunsets. You see? It's really up to us to make introductions and the like. For lack of any better response, I nod. Mrs. Abarazaki leans back a little on her seat and raises an eyebrow. So, how long have you and Reen been dating? My response consists of silence as my brain suddenly lurches into gear. But just before I can begin to utter a hastily babbled explanation, Emmy's mother bursts into laughter again. Ha! You're a blusher, aren't you? I don't know if there's any way to keep my dignity in this situation, so I settle for a mumbled response. Maybe. So this must be the new romance then, mustn't it? Wait, that's not the question that... Another laugh. I know, but it's funny to watch you squirm. I'm sorry, forgive an old woman her amusements. Old woman? She sure doesn't look that old to me. Clearly Emmy gets her youthful features from her mother. I suppose I can let it go. How kind of you. Boy's getting played. It's starting. Tumpy Butts! Okay, hang on. We got the green hair, short hair, the blue hair, the pigtail hair, and then we got the slightly could be black kid, but probably isn't because this is still probably Japan. And then Tumpy Butts! I'm just gonna sing it like that. Poppy Bro style. I direct my attention to the track where they're preparing for the first sprint. Also, by the way, I'm pretty sure this right here is illegal. But I'm not a track expert. It looks like the 400-meter dash. My eyes scan the runners before finding Emmy. She's smiling with an almost cocky look on her face. The starter raises his pistol. Bam! Emmy explodes off the block, disappearing from the starting line in a blur. Stumpy! That's who it is, it's Stumpy! And there's this fucking weirdo. It's like, I got half a smile when I'm running. And this one's obviously like knows what she's about. It's like, I don't want to run. It's amazing. Even as the other sprinters converge on the lanes closest to the inside line, Emmy surges to the front of the pack. By the time she rounds the final turn, some of the other runners have caught up with her. Their efforts come to naught, though, since a final burst of speed from Emmy leaves them at least a half second behind. Mrs. Abarazaki whoops and shouts, applauding wildly, and generally looking at like any other parent cheering on their child. Emmy bounds off the track, looking pleased with herself. I gotta pause.